am the goddess of radical self-love, and this is MECA, Make Everyone Count Always. We are a support network for radical self-love, self-care, and master manifesting through radical self-love and self-care. Our community here at MECA values and supports our community's most vulnerable care receivers and those who care for them, caregivers. When our community's most vulnerable feel valued and supported, the rest of us are assured we are valued and supported as well. Yay! Thank you all so much for your continued support. For liking, commenting, and sharing, thumbs up. And helping others to find our community here that values and supports each and every one of us. So, today is Freaky Friday. Go and get your freak on. Be your full self-actualized self in all you do, in all you say, in all you create. Speaking of creations, make sure you have your signatures on them. I am just about finished. Well, I pretty much am finished with the Magician, that I've been working on since January. And I had downloads about this, so guided information about this painting that I've been working on. And so it's the Magician. And well, I'll kind of give you, I was going to read you a definition of it, but I changed some of the stuff. I added some different types of flowers with some different meanings. And oh yes, I painted myself as the Magician, so that would be a change. But really, the Magician has on, well, you can call it a workbench or a shrine, really. All the tools in which he needs to create heaven on earth, right? As above, so below, on earth as in heaven. But one of our friends, our earth angel, who some of you might recognize as being the one who constantly is commenting and reiterating what I am learning, and hopefully some of you learn through my learning. So yes, this is what we do. My accountability. Yes, that's what it is. So I'm looking for his, here it is. Sorry, I should have been ready, but no. So instead of reading from Neil Donald Walsh or any drawing cards, I'm reading from our Earth Angel about my painting, which you will see next week, because I just want to change a couple of the flowers that I had painted at the last minute, orange and yellow, and it had different meanings, but I still want to keep it all the same gradient of colors within the flower scheme, so I'm going to redo them to like white and pink or something. Anyway, he said, in your amazing painting, this is what I see. I see your head and neck on the body of Jesus. I see that it is your goal to be the hands and feet of Jesus every single day, as we are the body of Christ. So it's interesting because I've had other people also make comments about the attire, so and what the colors mean. So we'll go over it when I show you guys the painting. So I see that you would like everyone to have the ability to drink from the cup and to have a place at the table. Oh, I just love it so much. Sorry. I'm not sorry. It's good to be able to let things move you, to feel, you know? Ooh, but my goodness, I don't want to start crying. Not today. So, I will try to do this again with you want all to know that everyone is welcome and has a place at the table. I see that you want everyone to know that paradise and the kingdom of heaven is all right already here on this earth. Sorry. I see that you want everyone to experience everlasting love, perfection, wholeness, completion, duality, and empowerment through their time on this earth and throughout all eternity, just as you had found. Just as you have found. Ugh. Once we reach this place, we can find it is an infinite garden that can fill all our needs. Wants, visions, goals, dreams, and desires. If we will trust and believe. Which, if any of you know, trust and believe are my whispers from my guides, always just trust and believe, trust and believe. And that's what got me started on this, those whispers that just grew louder and louder. The creator of the universe, the Alpha and the Omega, the way, the truth, and the life lives in us and through us. We must see to be more divine, as divinity lies within us. We must seek a spiritual experience in all aspects of our lives. We must follow a spiritual path to find consciousness and our higher spirit. We must fight against the forces of darkness and be a beacon of light. We must seek full enlightenment. We must always seek the truth and justice. We must protect others by having strength, courage, bravery, and chivalry, and I would add humility. We must show leadership by treating others with dignity and honor, allowing them liberty. We must have faith and determination, acting with no fear, for we can conquer all of our obstacles. Thank you for doing all that you can to teach everyone this message of light and love. Maybe I will type that up. Or I'll leave it to the Earth Angel. He will. It's just, it has been a big transition. And it's just, it's so, to me, it's so profound. The words that he used to explain it. I can guarantee you he wasn't checking out any, what does the magician and tarot mean? But his explanation, I would say, you know, that was divinely inspired for sure to me. So thank you, our Earth Angel. I feel like I should be able to read it without crying, but it's just, sometimes I just can't help it. No matter how much I fight. Gosh, somebody told me to do something with my eyes. Oh, like put my tongue on the roof of my mouth, maybe? I kind of feel like my tears are drying up. I'm like, oh my gosh, if that really works, that would cure so many of my issues. So ridiculous. I'm a crier. I can't help it. You know, words are powerful. I was so just gonna start thinking. Oh my goodness. I mean, I can, but I don't need to. I'm just being ridiculous. I need to set a good example. By the way, we have a couple of things to fix again that were brought to my attention, and then now I need to fix them. So now we're going to do I think we're going to have to call it like the M3 because it's the MECA Map Me motivational assessment I told you guys about. And I took it today, so I already knew that. I mean, no matter what, I'm the goddess of radical self-love. I'm a radical self-lover. So, anyway, if you guys want to do it for free and then be part of the membership for free, which is normally, I believe, going to cost you $149, then just email me at the goddess, or just goddess, not the goddess, goddess.ibodme, yeah, IBODME @gmail.com. Super cool. And we have an affiliate that's a little fun, but we'll have a few more. So the site should be open any day. Well, we're opening on the 1st, but I would love for you guys to be able to be in the chat rooms and stuff. It would be fun to see y'all in there with me. I think I want to I want to be the head of the Radical Self-Lovers group in the chat room because it would be fun. Yeah. But anyway, we will move on with my boyfriend Maslow, Toward a Psychology of Being, and we are on part 3, Growth and Cognition. So, I have to hurry it up a bit because I only have an hour till I have to leave. So, I had so much shit happen, like last minute stuff. Everything, it's like, but everything ends up working out perfectly, so I'm not going to say anything. Because it's just like, think you're doing this, and then that doesn't happen, and all of a sudden something else happens, so thank God you weren't doing that at that time. It's just like juggling, right? All the time, juggling. I'm just like, oh my God. Seriously. I mean, yeah, my nose is still running. I don't know. I don't have a thing. It's all right. It's all like clear. Anyway, all right. Cognition of being in the peak experiences. The conclusions in this and in the following chapter are an impressionistic ideal composite photograph or organization of personal interviews with about 80 individuals and of written responses by 190 college students to the following instructions. I want to do this again so bad. I want this to be like on my assessment. But then I don't, like maybe just to have for how each person responds to it would be kind of like your quote, your slogan, would just be kind of, I don't know, beautiful in some ways. So, here we go. I would like you to think of the most wonderful experience or experiences of your life. Happiest moments, ecstatic moments, moments of rapture, perhaps from being in love or from listening to music or suddenly being hit by a book or a painting or from some great creative movement. First, list these and then try to tell me how you feel in such acute moments, how you feel differently from the way you feel at other times, how you are at the moment a different person in some ways. With other subjects, the questioning asked rather about the ways in which the world looked different. No one subject reported the full syndrome. I have added together all the partial responses to make a perfect composite syndrome. In addition, about 50 people wrote me unsolicited letters after reading my previous published papers, giving me personal reports of peak experiences. Finally, I have tapped the immense literatures of mysticism, religion, art, creativeness, love, etc. Self-actualizing people, those who have come to a high level of maturation, health, and self-fulfillment, have so much to teach us that sometimes they seem almost like a different breed of human beings. But because it is so new, the exploration of the highest reaches of human nature and of its ultimate possibilities and aspirations is a difficult and torturous task. It has involved for me the continuous destruction of cherished axioms, the perpetual coping with seemingly paradoxes, contradictions, and vagueness, and the occasional collapse around my ears of long established, firmly believed in, and seemingly unaccessible laws of psychology. Often these have turned out to be no laws at all, but only rules for living in a state of mild and chronic psychopathology of fearfulness, of stunting, and crippling and immaturity, which we don't notice because most others have the same disease that we have. Most frequently, as is typical in the history of scientific theorizing, this probing into the unknown first takes the form of a felt dissatisfaction and uneasiness over what is missing long before any scientific solution becomes available. For instance, one of the first problems presented to me in my studies of self-actualizing people was the vague perception that their motivational life was in some important ways different from all that I had learned. I first described it as being expressive rather than coping, but this wasn't quite right as a total statement. Then I pointed that it was unmotivated or metamotivated, beyond striving, rather than motivated. But this statement rests so heavily on which theory of motivation you accept that it made as much trouble as help. I have contrasted growth motivation with deficiency need motivations, which helps, but isn't definite enough yet because it doesn't sufficiently differentiate becoming from being. In this chapter, I shall propose a new tact. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with me all of a sudden. Into a psychology of being, which should include and generalize the three attempts already made to put into words somehow the observed differences between the motivational and cognitive life of fully evolved people and of most others. This analysis of states of being, temporary, meta-motivated, non-striving, non-self-centered, purposeless, self-validating, end experiences and states of perfection and of goal attainment, emerged first from a study of the love relations of self-actualizing people, and then of other people as well, and finally from dipping into the theological, aesthetic, and oh my gosh, I don't know what is going on with me. But philosophical literatures. It was first necessary to differentiate the two types of love, D-love and B-love. In the state of B-love, for the being of the other person or object. So for the being of the other person, right? Just for the being. I have found a particular kind of cognition for which my knowledge of psychology had not prepared me, but which I have since seen well described by certain writers on aesthetics, religion, and philosophy. This I shall call cognition of being, or for short, B-cognition. This is in contrast to cognition organized by the deficiency needs of the individual, which I shall call D-cognition. The B-lover is able to perceive realities in the beloved to which others are blind, i.e., he can be more acutely and penetratingly perceptive, right? So he can see through others' masks. He can see what is lovable in all. He can look past, or she can look past that humanness to the beingness, right? Human, being, look past the human to the being. Divine being. This chapter is an attempt to generalize in a single description some of these basic cognitive happenings in the B-love experience, the parental experience, the mystic or oceanic or nature experience, the aesthetic perception, the creative movement, the therapeutic or intellectual insight, the orgasmic experience, right? So that's your highest level of pleasure, orgasmic experience, certain forms of athletic fulfillment, etc. These and other moments of highest happiness and fulfillment I shall call the peak experiences. This is then a chapter in the positive psychology or orthopsychology of the future that it deals with fully functioning and healthy human beings and not alone with normally sick ones. It is therefore not a contradiction to psychology as a psychopathology of the average. It transcends it and can, in theory, incorporate all its findings in a more inclusive and comprehensive structure, which includes both the sick and the healthy. Geez, that sounds like a really good idea. Both deficiency, becoming, and being. I call it being psychology because it concerns itself with ends rather than with means, i.e., with end experiences, end values, end cognitions, with people as ends. Contemporary psychology has mostly studied not having rather than having, striving rather than fulfillment, frustration rather than gratification, seeking for joy rather than having attained joy, trying to get there rather than being there. This is implied by the universal acceptance as an axiom of the priori definition that all behavior is motivated. So, yes, I do say it is the end for today. I will fix my painting tonight or this weekend, so it will be ready for you next week when we return. Yes. So, yesterday I apologize. We did miss Self-Transcendence Thursday. So, I apologize. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and enjoy your family and your friends. Tell them you love them. Love you all. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Oneness. That's all for now.